Astronomer CEO fired, left his position. We knew that was coming. Here's the update. I promised you guys we'll do an update once this kind of settles in. Didn't think it was going to be within 48 hours, but this is the video that we're going to do, and then we're going to close this case because this has been craziness going on. And I think this astronomer CEO has probably been the first person that ever got fired for attending a Coldplay concert. So absolutely crazy. And as you saw in my last video, it has been a whirlwind of information. There's been false emails leaked. There's been people that have been saying that he's there's the resignation letter. Here's this and here's that, and none of it's kind of true unless you actually go to the company and they released a statement and they said the CEO resigned. We're gonna watch a video here coming up from the job doctor. She's super renowned in the career space industry, and we're gonna watch a video what actually really happened behind the closed door. Since she's been there, she's kind of seen it all. So we're gonna watch that one. So let's go over the facts and what has been going on. So he actually resigned. That is due. They said that his company confirmed that it is due. And there's been a bunch of memes going around and everything else has been, there's some great memes about him kissing and him doing a whole bunch of stuff online. And it has just been hilarious to see these. And we're gonna go and actually right now watch what actually happened behind closed doors.
Okay, here's what probably is going down today. Board of directors having an emergency meeting. Now, typically when there's an affair at a high level like this, a CEO, one of two things happens. Either the other person that was part of the affair is asked to leave the company, but they're given severance, pretty sizable severance, because severance prevents them from suing. And oftentimes what happens, these things get really tangled up and somebody says, well, I was pressured into having an affair. There was a power dynamic, and so I didn't feel I could say no. Or people argue, you can't tell me what to do in my private time. As long as I'm doing my work performance, you shouldn't be able to let me go. So there's all these crazy arguments. So just to alleviate the risk, severance out the door. The CEO, if that's the person left standing, big PR campaign around them to say, we got to rehabilitate the image, blah, blah, blah. Now, in today's environment, I wouldn't be surprised if the CEO is the one that goes. But it also depends how great the CEO is. And I wish that weren't the case, but we do an awful lot behind the scenes when there's bad behavior and a super good performer to see if we can make things work. And I don't want to say we, because I'm not in that world anymore, but I have certainly seen it and been in the room where the conversations are being had. So that's likely what is happening. The harder problem is that your head of HR, when HR goes bad and has an ethical problem, that's really bad. And she may have a very difficult time getting rehired under the circumstance. It's not the same as if a CTO or something had an affair. When the head of HR, the person in charge of ethics for the company, has an affair, it's really rough. So I'm not saying that I like it. I'm not saying that it's not a double standard. I'm just saying it is what it is. So that's what's probably happening behind the scenes right now. I have been in the room where they've decided to let somebody go, let the CEO go and do a hostile takeover even, and when they've decided to keep somebody. You can't expect for sure is there's going to be a PR statement made by the company, which the persons or persons involved probably had nothing to do with. Somebody is crafting that in another room who is better at doing that kind of thing than the actual people that were involved. And by the way, it's been proven that message, his apology, is false. So don't spread the rumor that whatever you're reading is true right now.
So as we just saw Tess, the job doctor talk, I've asked AI, how likely would you rehire the CEO for another position like that? Because he's probably a pretty decent CEO. So I've asked AI, and drum roll please, 1. Too soon, too risky, too public. So they would not give him a job in any time coming up here. So it is too risky, too much public outreach, and can he be trusted? So these two people now will have a very, very hard time to find another job. And I hinted to you guys about the call sheet. So these people that reached out and said, hey, thanks for the tip, I made some money. Congratulations to you. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, thanks a lot for reaching out, and I'm glad you guys made some money. So now, continuing on with the I can't find a job. The problem is why they can't find another job is because reputations will follow. And this is why I tell my audience, when you watch my channel and you're not so new to the channel, I always say your reputation is everything. How you handle some things is how you handle everything. And so your reputation will speak before it even reaches anybody. So in company cultures, in executive positions, your reputation is almost more worth than what you produce, because, oh, she's a likable person, I like working with her, or I heard she's great to work with, or something, or there, or whatever, they is great to work with. So Don't contribute to gossip. Don't get into affairs with your colleagues. And for these people that said, oh, I would do it, because a lot of you guys would actually get into it with a coworker and with into a boss like that. For me, people ask me, so what would I do? In a position like that, you have to get into it with somebody that's so high up that if they're going to ask you to leave and you're going to be so publicly dragged through the mud, it has to be so much money that you don't need another job. You need to go for big money. And if they're going to screw you out of big money, it most likely isn't worth it. There's so many dating apps you can trade, companies you can find another place to work. And no, it's not easy right now, but it's just such a better option than having your reputation ruined. So if you're working in white collar tech, something like that, the world is just too small. The world is just so small, and reputations will carry from company to company, because what happens is these executive people and these tech workers, they bounce from one company to another, from Microsoft to Meta, from Meta to Netflix, and all around the Bay Area. And in other places the same, they have these hubs where these people rotate through. And then you might have a manager that you worked before on this company working over here. And so all of a sudden their reputation will commingle and everything. So be aware that for 5 minutes of fun, it's not worth having a life of pain and not trying to get another job. And now we're going to see divorces, we're going to see maybe lawsuits, and it is going to get very, very expensive. And so when you're in a position like that, and the job doctor said it right, they will offer huge severances, because then you don't go out and sue them. And there were attorneys, I think, ready to go and trying to find, hey, let's sign them on. Let's sign this other person on. Hey, have you not been promoted because they had something going on? That's discrimination. Let's see how they did. And I bet you once that happened, they had an internal audit of finances, were company funds used, was all of that used, ethical clauses, everything. So yeah, it is absolutely brutal. And now we've seen this come to an end. And I always like to take lessons from other people's stuff, because I don't want to go down that route and ever have that issue. So rule number 1, don't date your coworker. And rule number 2, don't date your boss, because that will, if you're high enough up in the organization, that will make it so that there's favoritism, lawsuits, biases. And yeah, it is just not a good world for you if that's going to happen to you. And now the likelihood of this all happening is so small, but there is, right? Because this whole thing that blew out of proportion, that got these people fired, they would have never ever thought of going on a date to a Coldplay concert and then literally getting fired, heard their names dragged through the mud, and are now actually unhireable, right? And this is just to you watching this video on my walk, telling you, watch what you do. Your reputation is everything. And the guy, the CEO, removed his LinkedIn, did all that because he knew that it was gonna get bad. So now what do? You gotta lay low, wait. I think a few years, you gotta wait 5 to 6 years. But news articles don't just leave. So if you're gonna reapply to other CEO positions, to venture capital positions, to get another job, they will then really, really scrutinize your resume, your application, because they don't want that happening to him. I think he's older too, so I don't think he really needs to work anymore, because if he was in his 30s or 40s, man, that'd be tough. 30, 40 years left and you can't make any money anymore. So yeah, it is, you got to start your own thing, but then there's problems with who's gonna want to trust you. And maybe people just want to meet with you because of your reputation and not because of your product. So now it's just time to kind of lay low and take some time, maybe reconcile with your family. But as we already saw, wife already changed her name. So, and I think they didn't even live together anymore, but yeah, stuff like that just goes, like gossip just spreads like wildfire, and it's not containable. And then we saw that the whole company was remote. They gave him PTO to kind of figure stuff out. And it is just a world of craziness when something like that happens at the executive level. And yeah, startups, even though it was $1 billion, people say, oh, it's not that much, and 300-400 employees and everything else. It is just crazy to see what's going on. And yeah, you got to be so sharp now. You cannot let stuff like that, if you want to make a career, if you want to make a name for yourself, get caught up in that. And this is what I see a lot of people. They make online videos. They post about their being cool, them faking it till they make it. They think like, oh my gosh, I'm just stop gonna pay my credit card bills, and then my debt's gonna go away. Or then they get caught on camera. Whenever you're outside, most likely somebody's filming. You always have to see, and that's why people don't have expected of privacy in a public environment, right? So beware that always somebody's listening, always somebody's watching, and put your best foot forward and not let stupid 5-minute idiocracy or whatever you want to call it get caught up in you, and then all of a sudden you are in trouble. Because I don't want your family going through this, I don't want you going through this. So learn from it. Make sure that that is not you. If you guys are one of these huge percents that were like, yeah, I would date my coworker, I would date my boss, and stuff like that, it's just, man, you're opening yourself up like crazy. And sometimes what the crazy part is that they might not even side with you. They might side with your boss. They might kick you to the curb. They might tell you that you sexually harassed him, and then you might not even make it out with a severance package. You might, have the company come after you for throwing yourself on him. So it is just too much craziness. And right now, the job market's so tight, you gotta really, really watch what you're doing and what kind of moves you do, because there's probably 200, 300, 400 people that would love to take your job with less money, crazier hours, just for a paycheck, because unemployment is so crazy. So even you're like, I could date my coworker, I could do something like that. The environment that we're in with all these job losses just isn't there for you to take any of these risks. Let me know if you agree with this or not in the comments, because I feel like for some people, they really got to experience it before they're going to say, I learned my lesson. And some people need to learn the lesson like 3-4 times before it actually, they actually learned it. They can't just say, ooh, the stove's hot, let's not touch it. No, they touch it a few times, burn themselves, put ice on it, and then after like the 4th time, the burn's so bad they got to go to the hospital. Yeah, I shouldn't touch the stove. So don't be that person. Don't do it. And especially now when unemployment's high, people are taking 5, 6, 7, 8 months to find a job, and you're trying to have a little tete-a-tete with your boss or your coworkers. It's just crazy world. The job market isn't favoring people, especially now with enrollment of AI getting rid of jobs and doing all this other stuff. It's just not worth it. But yeah, we knew it was coming, and we just got to be smarter than most people. You just got to be smarter than half or smarter than average, and you'll be fine. But there's temptation, there's this trickle, there's like, oh my gosh, coworkers, everything. And I kind of see why. I see why. It's like, oh, it's spicy, it is forbidden. It's like, let's do it. But at the end of the day, if you lose your job over it, you're going to get unemployment, you're going to do all that, and then you start to be really stressed out about it. It's not worth it. So don't do it. Unless you start a business with your wife or something, or your partner or your spouse, don't do it. It is just absolutely not worth it. And yeah, people got to learn these lessons. And the percentage, I've asked AI actually, what's the percentage of that happening? And it is so small. It is like when you're thinking about them hugging each other, the cam going on to it. And I don't think that the Coldplay concert, that cameraman that did that kiss cam actually knew these guys. And the person that posted that or watched it and posted it on TikTok knew either, and then it just kind of blew up. And so the person that filmed it, the person that posted it, all kind of helped with the downfall of this person, of this CEO and his HR executive. So yeah, learn from it, make sure that's not you. And yeah, even though there's a small percentage chance, man, it sure hit right. So yeah, it is something that I'm just like, wow, the likelihood of that happening. Because if they would have not hold, if they were not hugging or not doing something like that, just standing next to each other, there would have been nothing like it. But man, they were hugging, and yeah, so they got busted. And it is just, yeah, the world we're living in 2025. And now since this is closed, the news cycle will change, and we will see what's gonna come from it. But yeah, I didn't make a video yesterday because Las Vegas, my area flooded. Check that out. It is absolutely crazy. So I was like, stay inside. I don't want to get wet, and I don't want to walk through the mud, and I don't want to walk through all that kind of stuff. But as you saw, it is crazy. When it rains in Vegas, it will flood. And it's been flooding all over. So nothing really happened for us, but it's just how it is. It's floody. The weather's changing, you name it. Global warming, global system change, El Nino, you name it. You could name it how you want it, but it is changing. And I don't know for the better yet. We'll see how Florida's going to do with hurricanes and Texas with the floodings. But it is just absolutely brutal to see what's going on with the climate, with all that. So this was it for this video. I hope this was informative. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. It's just absolutely crazy. And yeah, from Las Vegas. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you guys in the next one.